Hey, there you are. Hi, welcome to Sci-Fi Journal for May 1998. I'm Mark Morriso. This program is presented by members of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. Thanks for joining us. Also here this month are Donna Drapo, to my left.
Hi.
And to my immediate left, Manny DeCosta.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for joining us this month. We just want to let you know that every month we'll give you an update on where Calvin Watts is, another member of our crew. Calvin is in California. Calvin is in, he's in California. He's in Los Angeles, and he called me this week because he thought he was going to make it for the show, but he wasn't able to make it, and he said, please tell everyone I said a hi. So, hello from Calvin. And
hi, Calvin.
All that other good stuff. So, Calvin's family is watching this. Guess what? He's in Los Angeles, and he's on his way home as we speak.
And he'll call you tonight.
Exactly. All right, let's get on to, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. In fact,
good.
It's going to be a very talky show, or as I say in Rhode Island, a talky show.
You talking to us?
You talking to us? All right, let's go through some...
Use guys.
Use guys. We have a lot of stuff to go through. Let's. Last month we went to go. I'm doing it already. We saw Lost in Space at the theater, which finally opened. And what I'd like to do is show you. There's the cover from the Starlog magazine book. If you get that, there it is. No close-ups, but that's okay. We love you anyway. All right, there's Lost in Space. Let's get some opinions on what you thought about the movie. I mean, we'll start with Manny. We'll work.
Oh, sure. No pressure on my part.
Oh, not at all.
I liked it. I really liked it a lot. I liked the fact that they didn't redo this. They didn't repeat the series or continue it. The fact they started from scratch. I like the fact little touches, like when the Jupiter 1 lifted off into space. You notice it was shaped just like the original Jupiter 2.
It's a nice homage to the old series.
And the fact they had Dick Tufeld do the voice of the robot, I thought was a nice touch also. Although after the 20th time of hearing Danger Will Robinson, I was kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah.
And I think they could have done something like had Bill Mumy play the older Will Robinson. And if you're watching the show, I'm not spoiling anything because you've probably already seen it too. But instead, I think what they had was, if I caught the name right on the credits, it was Jared Harris. And would that be the son of Jonathan Harris? Because I saw a slight similarity.
I have no idea.
I don't believe so. In this particular magazine that I held up, it's all about the film, and it doesn't say anything about him being related. It says Jared Harris, but no, it doesn't mention that he's...
but I saw a slight similarity.
I think Bill and Mumy didn't want to do it because they wouldn't offer him enough money. I can understand his reasoning because...
He's the only one still working.
Yeah, he's still working. And... I mean, I still would have wanted to participate no matter what. I mean, it's part of your history. But I can understand his reasonings, I suppose. Yeah. Or it's more likely his agent's reasonings. They're the ones that are a little bit more money hungry.
But I don't understand Jonathan Harris's reasoning for not being in the show.
Because he's the only one that can play the space pedophile.
Yeah, but he's not. But he's not doing anything. And like his whole attitude was, well, I'm not going to do the show because I don't have a big enough part, and yada yada yada. But in reality, he's not. What's he doing in real life?
Voiceovers on Freakazoid.
He's doing voiceovers in Freakazoid. He's doing some other things
But
instead.
I thought he wasn't a well man.
I don't know.
I thought that was
well, he wasn't a well man on the series, too, but that was just a role he was playing.
Yeah, exactly. And then his role in the 60s series started off, the first 5 episodes of the original series, he was a nasty guy. And then he turned into a comic book character.
Whereas in the movie, Gary Oldman played Smith as a complete bastard the entire way through.
Which is the way I really enjoyed the film.
Yeah, it made it a better film. I think I wouldn't have appreciated it if it had been camp. I like the way the take they did. And they had a lot of really neat things, like you said. There's a beginning scene where Major West is in a ship, and he's flying in, and they do a close-up, and you can see he's got like contact lenses that are like a computer link-up or
like
something.
Like, is he hardwired?
Right.
Yes, and really cool looking. They spent a lot of money on effects.
They did. I like
and it showed on the screen,
nice.
Which is good.
Yeah, they took the time to do a real good job with special effects. What I didn't like about the show was I had problems with the technology a little bit. The whole thing about hyperspace was sort of like they had a gate at one end that they were building. They were traveling to a planet to build another gate, and then somehow it was supposed to be like a funnel, I guess. They activated a hyperdrive, and you get.
Well, no, that sort of makes sense. It's like the hyperspace used in Babylon 5. Like they said, if you didn't have a gate at one end, you'd go wherever in hyperspace, so it sort of made sense. That's why they were going in normal space in hypersleep or suspended animation.
Right. Which makes you wonder if they were traveling all the way to this Alpha Prime, and they had all this technology, they were supposed to build another gate at that planet. Does that mean that there's a gate on board the Jupiter 2?
They had the stuff to build the gate. That's why it was so huge.
So why don't they just build a gate and zoom back to Earth?
Because they're trying to leave Earth. Did you really watch the movie?
You don't have two gates, so you don't have a direct link back.
Right.
So just opening up one, it's a random factor.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying by the time they finish, if they've got a hypergate on board, by the time they finish building it, isn't the one on Earth going to be finished?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can't they just go back to Earth?
They don't want to go to Earth.
Then you won't
Earth
have
is dying. That's why they're trying to
Because then they won't have 2 more movies to do. I'm just being.
And I really, no, you're right though. The science is bogus.
Exactly.
The science is extremely bogus in the movie, and for me to
But that's not the point. I went to go
glaringly
enjoy
obvious. Yeah, exactly. The series, the science was bogus too. It's a fun, enjoyable
Let's not go back on the
movie.
vegetables again, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please,
Oh,
no,
God, I
no
hope not.
vegetables. But I would say that Providence Journal gave it 2 stars, and I think.
What a surprise!
If you use their rating system, I would give it
I don't.
3 out of 5 stars.
I don't
No,
pay
but the
any
lower the
attention
stars
to
he gives the movie, the higher I give it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't name names.
We won't.
You all know who we're talking
But that's
about.
okay. And in case you're interested, Dark Horse has started a 3-part series on Lost in Space. I keep doing this in the booth, and they're going, "What the hell is he pulling up now?"
What
There we
pull a
go.
rabbit out of my hat?
Yeah, again. Gordon Purcell is doing the
Time to get
pencils.
another hat.
Does a nice job. I like his work. It picks up where the movie left off.
Yeah, he used to work on the Star Trek book for DC.
Yeah, he did a nice job with that. I was disappointed when they started bringing in guest role people for Star Trek comic. But anyway, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of action. It really doesn't stop anywhere along the line. It just keeps going.
That's why you don't have to worry about the science. You don't have time to think about
Right.
it.
Yeah, they packed an awful lot in with the time. I was really surprised at just what they were doing in the allotted time.
Yeah. Now, sometime this month, they're supposed to be releasing a technical manual based on the movie with blueprints about the Jupiter 2 and so forth.
Like where the bathrooms are.
Yeah, exactly. I like that stuff. I like the ship. I really did. So that should be a lot of fun.
Now, if there was actually one problem with the movie,
What are you laughing at?
Geek.
Excuse me.
some people have actually complained that the only thing they didn't like about the movie was Penny.
Oh,
Because
I
of her
liked
voice?
Penny.
I didn't have a problem
I
with
loved
her.
I don't
Penny.
have
I
a
loved
problem.
Penny Vision. I thought that was really great.
Mhm.
I think she had a very good character development. Well, maybe not development, but the depth of character.
That high-tech Valley Girl thing.
Right.
It worked for me. I thought, I think she was better developed than her sister and the mother. So
Yeah.
not meaning it in that way. Don't take mind.
No, the cryo suits left nothing to the imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your brain out of the gutter.
I didn't say that.
Well, of course, we call you Jenna Boy for a
Anyway.
reason.
Oh, this is the first time.
It was a good movie. And
Yeah.
if you check out the website, it's www.dangerwillrobinson.com.
Again, that term. Ah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It has a section where you can see you can download clips from the film. There's also different planets. Each character in the movie is assigned a planet. You can design your own planet, and they have this contest that you can sign up for. You can download a little, sort of like a desktop thing, a screensaver with the little robot, the second robot that they made. You can download that and move it across your screen, and if you sign up for this contest, every 6 weeks they'll mail you a new game over the internet, and you also qualify to win one of the props from the movie. So that's pretty neat. That's something worth
I'll take the
checking out.
full-size
Yeah,
Jupiter
that sounds
too.
like fun.
Yeah, if you got if you have a computer, you have access to the internet, that's worth checking out. You should check it out. All right, are we all done with Lost in Space?
I suppose.
All right, let's go quickly over some other things. Godzilla's coming out May 20th. We're going to talk more in detail about that later. Right?
Yeah.
Deep Impact has already opened. And you saw that film. What did you
Yes,
think?
I did. Unfortunately, they show you all the money shots in the ad. It's not a bad idea for a movie, but they place the entire weight of the movie as far as one character on Tia Leone, who's not that great an actress. She was much better in other things she's done and all the failed TV series she's done. But in this movie, she's just kind of weak. And Morgan Freeman is good as President. I learned in the credits his name is President Beck.
Okay.
They don't call him that in the movie, I think. And there was actually one shot that I really liked that they don't show in the ads involving the Statue of Liberty. I'm not going to spoil it, so when it happens, anybody who sees it will get it.
Thank you, because I'm going to my wife to see it tonight. Yes, okay.
But it is a good movie. There's some good character development when it's not involving Tia Leone. And it basically, I think panic of this nature, if you knew that you were going to die in 6 months, I think it portrayed it pretty well. The director, Mimi Leder, this is only her second movie now.
Right. What did she do for?
Her first movie was The Peacemaker, which also involved like major explosions.
That was George Clooney and
Nicole Kidman.
Don't stop melting in front of us. Okay.
So I get the feeling she can only do movies that involve huge explosions.
Yeah. You say George Clooney and Bottom becomes a puddle.
I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
What, am I still on camera? Okay. Come on,
We're
movies other people.
We're just talking. Okay.
Yeah. But Deep Impact is a good movie. You won't be wasting your money by seeing it. But seeing it in matinee like I did, you'll save even more money.
Yeah, there you go. So it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And the other movie, Armageddon, is showing up on July 4th, so you can compare them.
That's the other asteroid?
That's the other asteroid.
That's directed by the guy who did The Rock and, what was the other movie? Bad Boys. And it'll be more of an action movie, I think.
Right.
Whereas this was more of like a mood piece.
Right. Okay. What else is coming out? X-Files, June 19th.
Yeah, and you have to see the last episode tomorrow night in order to make sense of the movie.
Yeah, as we tape this, it's like the third week in May. So most of these movies will be
I haven't been watching the X-Files lately. They haven't been that good.
Well then, boy, you're going to be in trouble tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Because they're putting all the money into the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good.
Well,
I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, I can always miss the movie.
No, you won't.
Well, is it possible that you could not watch tomorrow night's episode and still watch the movie and
How could they
be able to enjoy yourself, you think?
You have to hope that they can do that because, believe it or not everybody watches the X-Files, and I know who you are out there.
Shame on you. Mary's going, yeah, me, I don't want
Yeah, me behind the third camera.
Well, I guess they have to because, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of people out there who just don't watch the show, but they can still go to the movie and check it out.
Because they're the ones that figure, like, I didn't see the first 2 seasons, it doesn't make sense, all the conspiracies.
Right. Oh, they don't want to waste their weekend.
Well, it's just the problem. It's too many conspiracies. I mean, I don't buy into all these new conspiracies every week. I don't know, just...
Well, to me, what I've seen, it looks like it's degenerating into just like a more popular version of War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Only the aliens are moving in from the government source rather than like attacking in the tripods.
Right.
That's all it looks like to me.
It should be interesting, though. I've always enjoyed X-Files. It'll be worth checking out. Okay.
Of course, that means no series next year, and then if this movie's successful. Or maybe just one more season.
one more season of
I thought
X-Files.
David Duchovny didn't want to do it anymore.
I don't know, he hasn't talked to me lately, so next time I talk.
Well, call him up and let him, hey,
Yo, Dave, what's up?
What's the story here?
And by the way, tell
Your wife
Tia
really
she
sucked in that
stunk.
movie, but I want to know what's going on for next month. Okay.
Tell Gillian we said hi.
But is there going to be an X-Files next season?
There will be one at least next season because they don't know how the movie's going to do yet.
Oh, all right.
Rather than put all their eggs in one basket, I think.
Yeah, well, even if it does lousy, they still have a whole other season to do other things. Okay, that's good. Second Arrival is a sequel to Arrival that came out a couple of years ago. That's coming up. That's the tentative title. It's coming out at the end of the summer. That's a sequel to Martin Sheen?
Charlie
His son,
Sheen.
Charlie
Okay, I saw that.
That movie came out a couple of years ago. Well, there's a sequel that's been filmed that's supposed to come out at the end of...
Well, that's more information than I had. Thank you.
Yep. Then the Avengers is coming out June 26th.
Which looks very
Uma
good.
Thurman. And who's the other dude?
Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes,
Thank
who was
you.
in Strange Days, is playing John Steed.
Okay.
And Sean Connery's playing the bad guy.
Yes,
Yes.
that should be good. That should be a
He
lot of
looks
fun.
good in the poster I saw for that. I haven't seen any trailers yet, but...
Just posters, that's all you need.
Just
yeah,
posters.
Sean Connery
Connery's
looking
playing
good.
bad guy.
Yeah. can't
Sean
beat
Connery,
it.
sounds good.
None of us here is going to look as good at his age, so
That's true. Isn't it? Yeah.
I'm giving up now.
It's really a shame. no, we don't want to go there. Okay.
No.
Blade.
Not even going to try.
Blade is coming out July 24th. Blade.
Looks very good.
Yes, that looks
with
very
Wesley
cool.
Snipes.
Which is hard to believe because you never really... This is adapted from a Marvel Comics character,
I
which
was going to say,
they haven't
give us
really
some
said
background
that.
on the movie.
Yeah, most of the Marvel movies haven't looked incredible.
Oh, don't mince words. They just sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to be polite.
I'm not even going to bother.
But yeah, it does look very good.
Apparently Wesley Snipes was really hard up to do this movie. He wanted to play this role because I guess he read the comic book when he was a kid.
Right.
Maybe that's part of the reason why it looks good is because it's him. He's a very good actor. He's very intense.
The story about Blade is that his mother was bitten by a vampire while he was still in the womb, so he was conceived as half vampire and half human. And in the movie, they're playing that even higher up than they did in the comic because he never had powers in the book. Now they're calling him, if I remember the ad correctly, Daywalker, which means he can walk in day or at night. And he's got Chris Christopherson playing his weapons man. Okay, he doesn't show up on film that often, I think.
Well, but that might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Chris Christopherson in a movie, that's going to be a high selling point.
Yeah, he's not the world's
But the movie
best
does look
actor.
good. The action scenes are good. He's proven that he can be an action star in films like Passenger 57 and other things that he's done.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's going to be a good movie. It depends on what it comes up against that weekend to see how well it does.
All right, and then the last thing I have on here is Virus, which is scheduled for July or August. That's also based on a Dark Horse comic.
That came out of the comic book first. They sort of used the comic book as a storyboard for it.
Now, is this just another take on that movie with Dustin Hoffman?
No.
No, it's not. This is apparently about a plague ship.
Ask Manny. Manny knows.
Okay.
Ask the Answer Man.
See, I don't think I've heard about this one.
I don't know much about it, but apparently it involves a crew of scavengers or salvagers, I think would be the proper word, finding this Japanese ship out in international waters. And when they get there, they find no human life, but apparently something that's absorbed everything. And it becomes after that sort of like a stalker movie where everyone's trying to get off the ship without this getting into the real world.
Right. Now, doesn't it have the ability to
absorb machinery?
Absorb machinery and create weapons.
So it changes form during the course of the entire movie.
So you get eaten by a toaster or something like that. That would be neat. Okay, we have,
Attack of the Killer Toasters.
Well, they've got The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. That just came out on video.
Oh, did it?
Check that out, yeah.
There you go, then.
A 2-year-old,
and next year, The Brave Little Toaster goes to hell.
Now you'll give that 2-year-old a nightmare.
Yeah, that Spawn toaster, what else is coming out next? We have a clip, I believe we have a clip of, it's either Deep Impact or some other things that Calvin had put together for us that we want to show you real quick. Just a real rundown of some of the upcoming summer films. So if that clip is ready, we can roll that, please. If not, I will keep talking. But either way, just go ahead and roll that clip.
It's the thriller Deep Impact. And this Comet movie has some major star power, friends. The ensemble cast features Robert Duvall, you've got Morgan Freeman, Téa Leoni, Vanessa Redgrave, and Elijah Wood. And one of the film's executive producers is a guy you may have heard of a time or two, some fella Steven Spielberg. He's supposed to be pretty good here.
Mr. Rittenhouse, Jenny Lerner, MSNBC. If we could just talk about Ellie.
He had a private phone line installed in his office.
Turn your camera off.
I think the president knows about it, too.
Okay, Secretary of the Treasury resigns because of a mistress named Ellie. Okay.
If she knows, how long can it be before CNN or the Post breaks the story?
Mr. President, I'm not interested in using Ellie to further my career.
What do you know about Ellie?
Congratulations. You now have the biggest story in history.
E-L-E-E-L-E.
A few minutes ago, the United States ambassadors to every country in the world told the leaders of those nations what I'm about to tell you. Last summer, 2 comets were discovered that are on a collision course with Earth.
Oh, my God.
The smaller comet will hit first,
We now have the details.
creating a tidal wave over 3,000 feet high. The larger comet is the size of New York City, 500 billion tons. If it can't be stopped, all life on Earth will perish. So for the past 8 months, the United States and Russia have been building the largest spaceship ever constructed, the Messiah. This is the crew that will stop the comets. We all hope for the best, but we've prepared for the worst. To ensure our way of life goes on, a network of immense caves has been constructed. We're going to hold a national lottery. We can put 1 million people in them for 2 years. It is our new Noah's Ark.
If you marry me, I can get you into the Ark, so you can live. No men and women over 50 will be included in the lottery.
Don't worry about me. I'm going to be happy as long as I know you're going to live.
To have and to hold,
If the world does go on,
to love and to cherish,
it might not go on for everyone.
till death do you part.
Be good. Be good.
Good luck to us all.
We have to go.
We have one helicopter to hold 7 people.
The big one's coming up fast.
You're gonna die if you stay here.
We need the arming code for the last 4 nukes.
We've lost picture.
Messiah, this is Houston. Come in, Messiah.
Now's my time.
Taking too long.
We got jams up at 75 feet.
We're losing one.
Time! Get the hell out of there!
I want you to take the baby.
I'm not taking the baby!
Daddy.
Yes, and right after that happened, the hurricane barrier in Providence still withstood the tide. Yes, we were all set at that. And that was, who was it?
Denise Crosby.
Denise Crosby was also in that film, too. All right, good. That's worth checking out. Let's go.
Manny says no.
Manny says no.
It looks good, though.
It looks good.
I said go
It
see
sounded
it.
like you trashed
Get
it.
Manny in
I
trouble.
half trashed it.
Okay.
You half trashed it.
It's not a bad movie. I'm
okay.
trashing Tia Leone, okay?
All right.
The visuals looked really awesome, but if that's all the visuals in the movie, then yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, okay.
Not like Fifth Element, where every shot was a special effect.
Oh, Fifth Element was so cool.
Okay.
Oh, we just went off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Tangent, that's coming out. Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Essential Sci-Fi Library is another segment that we do each month. And this month we want to talk a little bit about Godzilla, since Godzilla is going to be the big popular hit movie for the summer that's coming out, what I say, May 20th, in a couple of weeks as we tape.
Good thing I have the day off. I can see it while everybody else is in work at school.
That's good. Yeah, we're going to go see it that
And
night,
spoil it
too.
for you that night.
Donna's going to do a little something about a book that you should have in your collection if you are a Godzilla fan. Take it away, Donna. Go for it.
This is the official Godzilla Compendium, and it just got released recently. It covers all the different aspects of Godzilla. It's got all the different movies, it's got the different monsters, it's got the history of Godzilla, it's got the books, it's got the kid books, it's got the comic books, it's got everything. It's really well done. It goes into a lot of detail. Oh, it's also got the little different movie posters from some of the different movies. I don't know, massive glare.
We can see that. My eyes, my
Good glossy paper.
Yeah. That is the, what did they call it? The lineup of the different species.
Yep.
The usual suspects, they call
Will
it.
number 4 please step forward?
You got a little height chart, so you can see how they rank up against things like the Capitol building. And what do we have there? We've got Rodan,
That's Anguillus.
Gigan. Up in the back, the big 3-headed dragon is Ghidorah.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, Godzilla himself. I think that's a really cool picture.
It is neat. Now, the Godzilla from the film is supposed to be
Entirely different.
entirely different. Huge. This thing is huge. It's
Well-
like 3 times bigger than anything that's in that
Well, they
shot.
have a
Yes.
billboard out on the streets now that says his eye is bigger than this billboard, so use that as a scale.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a big boy.
I like that billboard. I want to
actually-
get
Yeah.
one.
Actually, not to give away anything, but a big it. But we won't go into that.
Don't give away any plot points.
I'll try not to.
Don't be too
That's
disappointed
what we
with
have
the
commercials
movie,
for.
though, because they did a nice little, well, some people might not consider it nice. They gave him a makeover. He's not going to look like our usual Godzilla. He's going to look like a big, giant iguana.
Exactly. Yeah.
That can run 200 miles an hour.
Yep. And then there will be times that he's on all fours. He's not just walking upright all the time.
But apparently the creators at Toho in Japan approved of this design. So
Right.
Yeah.
if anybody would disapprove it, it
I
wouldn't be
think they
them.
also did it though with the understanding that
To keep it
this is
different from
going to be the
theirs.
Americans' version, and they can wash their hands of it to some degree. So if it bombs, well, it's because the Americans did this and they
The
totally
Americans make
changed
it bigger, and the Japanese make it smaller and better.
Right.
Right.
Also,
So-
they say. Exactly.
But
Well, that's what I heard.
Yeah, and the commercials that have just been recently released says that Godzilla is pregnant, and that's why he's here. He's going to be using New York City as a nesting area.
Just like every other immigrant.
Apparently.
Oh, can I say that?
Bad
Oh
boy.
my God. Excuse me, could I have your green card? You're getting phone calls. We're going to get mail off that one. Good.
Is my number unlisted? God, I hope so.
1-800
Call me.
Hate Manny. Okay.
Lost your train of thought, didn't you? Okay.
Yes, I did. All right. Godzilla is pregnant. He is apparently asexual, and he can procreate within himself, I guess, like a earthworm.
Right.
Or like the frogs they used in Jurassic Park to complete the DNA chain.
The frogs themselves switched sexes. They could simultaneously, when there was a deficiency in one area, make themselves another. I don't think Godzilla's a cross-dresser or
nothing in his size.
So Godzilla, that could come handy on prom night or something too. Yeah, if you're asexual. Anyway.
Does this mean we'll see like a little minion in later movies with the electric smoke rings?
Yeah, or not a junior Godzilla, please. Not like not a
Godzuki.
baby Godzilla like a.
Well, the last Godzilla movie made in Japan, Godzilla died. Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Okay.
And he died, and his son came back and kicked butt and then got the revenge.
Oh, great, you spoiled it for me.
You can see these movies anyway. It's all how they got there that's important.
Right.
So there is a son, at least in Japan.
Right.
So I guess the Americans are just a little late, a day late, dollar short. Like
I guess so. But even those movies are tough to come by. The original Japanese, they're like Japanese films with Peruvian subtitles or something.
A good place to get them would be Anime Crash on Thayer Street in Providence, down near Brown University.
Okay.
They have most of the movies there
Suncoast is good too.
with subtitles.
Suncoast is good too, if you're interested in Godzilla stuff.
Also, there were a lot of conventions that you can go to, not just the science fiction ones, but anything that's got the movies, like comic book conventions. And personally, I like the ones that you have to dub, not dub, with the subtitles.
Subtitle.
Having the original voices in there makes it seem a lot more legitimate. It's not like a big giant joke like most people consider the creature double feature Godzilla to be.
They talk, but their lips keep moving.
Yeah, but also the actors that they've had portray them are more hammy and just really bad acting, even though it's just the voice. And the quality's a lot better when you've got the original actors' voices.
And no Raymond Burr.
The,
No Raymond
subtitles.
Burr. Well, he's gone now anyway. So.
It makes it a totally different type of movie, much more believable, and I like it better.
Good, good. So, who puts that out? Who publishes that?
Publishes this? This is.
I believe it's Random House. Go by the tiny logo.
Yes, Random
right
House.
Random
House. And I have seen it at the bookstores. Borders and Barnes & Noble, I believe, has it.
Oh, there he is. Good.
And we got,
He's shaking the camera. I love it. Special effects.
Everybody lean.
Everybody lean.
Is it?
Left. Right.
Speaking of Godzilla, the Taco Bell commercial.
I love it.
I love it.
I need a bigger box.
Lizard.
We were talking to Mike Lopes in the booth the other day, and we were saying we were wondering if there was an increase in the number of the sale of chihuahuas because of this particular movie, like there was for 101
I'm sure
Dalmatians.
there is.
But chihuahuas are nothing but rats with
mean
an
old
attitude.
bastards.
That's all they are.
And big ears.
Yeah, they're rats with an attitude. They have no tail, but they're all.
But I love
and they're always shaking. He says that too. They're always going like this.
Well, they're cold. They got no hair.
Yeah. They're football dogs. Because you use them as,
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero Taco, but I love that commercial. It's good. Okay, we're halfway through. We have a lot of stuff to do as far as TV episodes. So let's get to it. X-Files, the season finale is coming up. As we tape, it'll be tomorrow night. Any comments? We talked a lot about it already. But
I think we'll have to wait and see until it comes out. But the episodes they've been showing lately seem to be a little weak. Like they're putting all their strengths into the movie, trying to put as much as they can into that.
That might be part of the problem that I'm having. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few episodes, but they're not powerful, and it's not something that I have to rush home and go make sure I see it.
right.
Especially when they're showing classic stuff on FX at like 8 o'clock at night. They're showing the good
And
stuff.
some of the
For
classic
me,
stuff is
it's
a
a
lot better.
problem if I've got the computer on and it's sitting next to me, and the TV's on, the X-Files, it just gets a little boring.
One of those. Huh?
And the computer's much more interesting. My email beats it any
internet
time.
You can't live without
Yeah.
the internet freak over
Yeah.
here. Okay, let's go on to Millennium. Anybody been catching that
I
show?
saw the season finale last night, and it
Yeah.
really bugged me.
I didn't see it.
Why
didn't
did
see
it bug you?
It reminded me, they seemed like they took so many elements out of certain parts of Twin Peaks.
Okay. Oh no, they didn't have like midgets or something. Did they?
No midgets, but they brought back the...
Sorry, little people. Little people.
They had like a white horse and a really strange, like 50-minute drug well, it seemed like a drug sequence, but it was actually like the character played by Kirsten Cloak, Laura, the psychic.
Right.
She went completely insane, and this went on for like 15 minutes to some weird punk song going on in the background.
It was pretty disturbing stuff.
It was, and at points it looked like she was committing suicide. That, like I said, that white horse showed up, and which in certain cultures means death, which is how they use it in Twin Peaks. And also in something similar to Twin Peaks, the lead character, Frank Black, his hair turned completely white after something that happened at the end of the episode. Apparently one of the groups has a control of a plague and the antidote, and that whole world seems to be going to hell in a handbasket. And it was very disturbing. I can't tell if the series is going to be continuing after this, because they kept cutting into like static, as if it was like a transmission to the future or something the future was picking up. So I have no clue whether this is like the end of the series itself, or how are they going to continue it after.
So we don't know if there'll be a Millennium next season or not. It's gotten mediocre reviews, so I'd be very surprised if it shows up again in the fall.
Yeah, but I have heard that it's getting better. It's not as dark and morbid as it used to be. So it is starting to get a little bit more of a following.
Yeah, I see. I'm not a big fan of Millennium. I only watched a couple episodes.
It's not a bad show. It's just really dark. You have to be in the mood to get into that
Yeah, you
kind
have
of
to be
frame
like
of
totally
mind.
depressed and on the verge of suicide. Okay.
Oh, that's a selling point.
Deep Space Nine. Let's talk about Deep Space Nine. What's the big news about Deep Space Nine? I know you want to talk about it, Manny. Go ahead.
Well, next season will be the last one for DS9. And not only that, but on top of that, Terry Farrell, who plays Dax, will not be back. I don't know why that happened. Apparently, she just decided to bail out before the whole ship sank. Also, what they want to do is do the entire series as one long, season-long story, which to me just goes back to the original comparisons that happened between DS9 and Babylon 5,
So
space stations
yeah,
and
you
whatnot.
said you think they were ripping off B5.
Not only that, but they also...
Well, they started as a rip-off of B5, even though they started before them.
Well, apparently Straczynski tried to sell B5 to Paramount, and they denied him. And then suddenly they have a space station show coming out.
Yeah, exactly. They stole part of his idea, but Joe still managed to make his show better.
Now, Terry Farrell is leaving, I think, because she didn't... I think... Doesn't it have to do with money? Wasn't that the bottom line?
Well, she thought she should get more stunt money for being married to a Klingon.
Right.
But, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just saying that.
Well, you know, there is hazard
All those
in
bites,
there.
it really...
For that, he would need a Klingon woman. And also, there's apparently a rumor going around online that Leonard Nimoy would like to reprise his role as Spock on DS9, but only if he gets to play the Spock from the Mirror Mirror universe. So that could be interesting. And it would be interesting to see if they could segue that into that, again, that season-long story, to see if they can work that out. Maybe they want to resolve that whole Mirror Mirror storyline, just end that, since they pretty much wiped out the Dominion, or made it as little interesting as possible.
Right. Now, this little romance that's finally blossomed between Kira and Odo. You think that's going to continue in the series?
God, I hope not.
I don't care one way or the
What
other.
do you think? You don't care?
I get a squeamish feeling in my stomach seeing the two of them acting all lovey-dovey.
You think if he's a
really
changeling,
disgusting.
if he's a changeling, he could make himself some lips because he's got no lips.
He can make himself interesting in other ways, but we're not going to go there, okay?
That.
She would. We should write to him. They take scripts, so we should do that.
And I saw the episode The Reckoning.
Okay.
Where they had the prophets acting more actively, and I guess they had taken over Kira and Jake.
And she became more interesting because of it.
Yeah. She looked pretty, too. Her eyes were bright blue instead of the dark brown that they had, and there's more makeup.
It's
but
a Maybelline
I liked
Cosmetics are selling real well on the station.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it again. Shut up. I liked...
Can you say train wreck, boys and girls?
I like Cisco as the emissary.
Okay.
I think they needed to bring that plot point back again. They had that in the first episode, the pilot. I thought that was the strongest episode they've ever had. And trying to get back to that is good. I liked the fact that he had a stronger belief in this religion that's not native to him than what's her face, the high priestess there.
Kai Wynn.
Yes, Kai Wynn.
I don't know how I knew that. I don't really watch the show that often.
I don't watch it very often too, but I did try to make a point of watching it, and that episode, although still not what I would consider a selling point, was better than a lot of them have been.
Okay, so one more season of DS9. That'll be good. I saw the one recently with the cadets on the Defiant class ship that they took over Defiant. I guess they were doing on patrol. It was supposed to be a training cruise, and
you know those things never work in Star Trek.
Yeah, they never do.
They do that all the time.
Somehow the officers got killed, and they were left to perform this mission, and Nog and Jake were on the ship somehow. It was a mediocre episode.
Star Trek version of Lord of the Flies.
Exactly, yeah.
They did that before with Jake, I think.
Yep.
And they've done it with Wesley. It's just, come on, let's
enough.
Well,
get a little more creative.
That episode that had Odo trying to learn how to be more romantic, that was like going back to the Data episode where he's trying to learn how to be funny.
Yeah.
So if they're swiping from themselves...
Don't recycle your own episodes.
Okay, speaking of recycling, let's go on to Voyager. Oh, what?
Glad you said it.
As we speak, the season ending of Voyager will be sometime this week, and supposedly they're going to be, Starfleet is going to be providing a ship that is going to take them at super transwarp speed back to the Alpha Quadrant, so they have to abandon Voyager and get on this ship.
In the future, mass transit works.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so that's Voyager. The last one I saw before that was the one where they had to go into sleep for a month because they were going through a Mudara glass nebula, and it was causing radiation burn, so they had to go to sleep, and the only people that were awake were Seven of Nine and the Doctor.
Who make such a lovely couple,
and
don't
then
they?
Well, I like that say that because they knocked off that other character, the Ogampa, what was her name?
Oh.
Barbie in Space.
Barbie in Space, yeah, whatever her name was.
Kes.
Oh, Kes.
Kes. Because they left that void, the Doctor had to develop another relationship, so they decided to go with Seven of Nine. And it worked pretty well. I enjoyed it. But Voyager will be back for at least 1 or 2 more seasons, I believe.
They're saying that next season they've got a new producer coming up because Jerry Taylor has left the series to do more writing.
Right.
And apparently they're going to find Earth next season at some point. So you pretty much resolve the series at that point.
I hope they come back to the Alpha
Well, it
Quadrant.
depends. Something might get mixed up.
Too.
Wrong Earth.
Yeah. It might be Earth at the wrong time period. It could be an alternative Earth. So
maybe it'll get interesting.
I can see now Voyager, Dinosaur Land. Okay.
Also, just to go on a side note, Jerry Ryan, who plays 7 of 9, will be appearing in the last episode of The Sentinel, which shows at about the same time as Voyager, and she'll be playing a female Sentinel. So if anybody's interested in seeing something else that she's done, maybe they'd want to see that.
Of course, most guys would want to see anything that Jerry Ryan does, but anyways, we'll just see Jerry Ryan. Babylon 5. There's a new series coming out called The Babylon Project Crusade. May, did you tell us some stuff about that?
Yes, I downloaded a press release about that offline, and apparently this takes place after Sheridan has resolved everything that'll be happening in the B5 series. The Friends of the Shadows release a plague on Earth, and the entire point of this series, Crusade, is a group of rangers in a ship called the Excalibur are going to be going out looking for a cure. And I don't know how long they're going to be able to go off with this, but the more I hear about it, the more it reminds me of the old Japanese animated series Star Blazers, where they have to go off and find the Cosmo DNA to restore
that's
Earth.
right. I remember that series. Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if they're going to go that far with that and say at the end of every episode have like a little like title at the end saying there are only 302 days left. Time is running out. It could be interesting. It looks good from what I've seen. If anyone out there has access to the Babylon 5 fan club website, which is www.thestation.com, they have something called Gold Channel, which is J. Michael Straczynski's personal diary, and he has a section dedicated to Crusade. So if you want to go online and find that section, you'll probably find out more about it. It does look interesting, and they do show some production sketches and give a little bit more information about it. From what I hear, the only people possibly cast so far are Jeff Conaway as Zach Allen and possibly Tracy Scoggins as Captain Lockley.
Okay, so it looks interesting.
It looks interesting, but again, it's more open-ended than what B5 was, which is what I think Babylon 5's strengths was. It had a story.
Is it going to...
It's going straight to TNT. It's
TNT?
Same outlets.
Same people doing the effects as well?
Net or digital, yes.
Good, good. All right, what else we got here? Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, will be finishing up sometime this week.
Yeah, the last episode will be this coming Tuesday after we film. And it looks good. This is a dirty show.
Well
it plays hard.
Yeah, I liked the ghosts in the high school episode. I thought that was really well done. The humor, I think, is great in this show.
The kids can relate to it.
It's a damn good show.
It's
Now there was some talk. We were talking about this earlier about Sarah Michelle Gellar, the star, not coming back to the series. She's thinking about going on to.
Oh, she's still on a contract for at least one more season.
One more season. Yeah.
But she thinks after she did Scream 2 and I Know What You Did Last Summer, she can go to movies and make a career out of that. But we'll have to wait and see how it is. I think she'd be better off staying on Buffy, but that's just my opinion. I'm only one fan.
Well, I agree. So it's two fans.
I agree. So it's three fans.
Get the hint?
Any more fans out there? Okay.
We're such geeks.
Xena and Hercules. I haven't been watching this show, so I can't.
Very, very good. They're still as strongly written as ever. Hercules, in the next to last episode of his series this season, he decides to become a full god and go to Olympus with his father. The finale for that will be...
Because of the benefits.
Yeah. Health insurance.
Right.
More power. And
lightning bolts.
And on Xena, they've again gone to the very hard-hitting episodes where Gabrielle's daughter Hope comes back as a goddess. And apparently she's like an emissary for this dark god called Dehar. And I can't wait to see how that resolves it tonight.
Sounds Caribbean to me. Okay. Oh, that's Deo. Sorry.
Deo.
Okay.
It looks good.
Sliders is coming back in new episodes starting in June.
Yes.
It's been running Monday nights at 9 o'clock on the Sci-Fi Journal.
They've been showing the classic episodes.
They've been showing classic episodes, and I'm looking forward to Sliders coming back. I think Fox made a big mistake by dropping that show. Because I really enjoyed that. That's coming back.
A good show.
Well, they wanted to have more room for World's Wildest Police Chases 9.
Or Animals Attack.
True Cops.
Chihuahuas without teeth. Yeah. Now, have you seen this new show on the Sci-Fi Channel, Sci-Fi Entertainment? They got rid of Sci-Fi Buzz, and they put on this new show, Sci-Fi Entertainment, with Chase Masterson and Scott. Is it Scott Mance? I think that's the other.
That sounds right.
Who co-hosted? They've had 3 shows. I've watched all.
You know, no one's watching it for him. They're watching it for her.
For Chase, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
No.
Anyway, have you seen these shows?
I haven't seen it. No.
You haven't seen it?
I'm disappointed. I liked Sci-Fi Buzz. I really enjoyed Mike Jarek. I liked his crew. They had nice chemistry mix, and when they were in the I don't know, that main room there.
Control room, whatever.
Yes. I think they did a great job.
Yeah, I've seen all 3 shows, and frankly, I'm disappointed because it's nothing but a big TV commercial for their website and for their magazine, which is kind of dry as well. I mean, there's no chemistry between the co-hosts. There's nothing about books, so if you're interested in books, you have to watch Sci-Fi Journal to learn more about books. It's all TV.
We could sell them our show.
We could sell them our show.
And do a better job of it.
Probably could.
Maybe.
And cheaper
Joke.
too. Call us.
Call us. You know where we are. We'll give you the website afterwards. But I was disappointed in the show.
And I haven't seen an episode. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but let me guess, they don't have Harlan Ellison on any.
No,
Oh,
nothing
see, now that's another thing.
controversial.
I loved Harlan.
Yeah. Oh, Dawn didn't like Harlan. but
Yeah, Dawn and Lois. Lois had a little yelling match.
These are members
with-
of our club, by
Yes,
the way.
but I don't know. A lot of times I agreed with his opinions, especially about things like writers getting credit for stories when Disney takes over.
Right.
Like Disney's Three Musketeers.
Well, yeah, Disney's Three Musketeers. Excuse me, Alexander Dumas did it a long time ago.
I wonder if he was dropped because of that campaign he was making for the Grand Masters of Science Fiction, allowing more writers in rather than just one a year.
I think so. That might be
But I
part
think
of
that's these things are needed, and I think he brought to attention a lot of things that had valid points.
Because I wouldn't have known about it
And
unless he said
okay,
something.
yeah, it's like the American publishers don't publish books from other countries, so we don't get to see a lot of really good fiction. Let things be known. I don't know. But he stirred things up, and I think that was his main role.
Yeah, well, maybe if we're lucky, he'll show up on some other things instead.
Talk shows.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, last but not least, and I just got information about this. There's a television movie based on the series Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., the old Marvel Comics series, with David Hasselhoff, Mr. Baywatch, which is going to be on Fox Television on May 26th, which you might also want to check out. He's pushing it really bad. He really likes it, so it probably sucks royally. So we'll see what happens.
Back to episodes. Alan Strange on Nickelodeon Saturday night. It's obviously Nickelodeon's for kids. It's a really good show, though. I think it comes on at 9:30. I know I watch it before watching
Too late
South
for me.
Park, which is not something that most kids that watch Alan Strange should be watching.
Right.
But
Hey.
my nephews do. My nephews come over my house just so that they can watch South Park.
Right.
Because their parents won't let
I'm
them.
making
Right.
phone calls. You're in deep trouble now. Okay.
But Alan Strange, it's a very good show. If you're interested, I definitely recommend it. It's a young boy who is from another planet, and he's trying to fit in and pretend to be just a regular high school child. It's a good
It
show.
looks like fun.
So it's just like
Yeah.
real life, but with special effects.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have
I remember it well.
5-10 minutes to go. Something like
Something
that.
like that.
Let's do toys.
Let's do toys
One
and
thing
props and
before
other
we do
stuff.
toys,
But before we do that,
yes, we've got the latest Laurel K. Hamilton book is out at the bookstores. You've probably heard me talking about her multiple times. She does the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter books, and this is the latest one. It's an excellent series. Mike Lopes, you cannot borrow this book. I'm not done with it. I'm still reading it. But once I'm done with it, if you want to, sure. I can't say enough about this series. The characters are very strong. It's a lot of fun, a lot of action, and this book brings us back to the were people again. So she's mixing it up with them, getting away from the vampires a little bit.
okay.
A lot
From
of fun.
Fang to Furs.
From Fang to Furs.
Yeah.
All right. As far as toys and props, how about if we do like last time? We'll have the camera show us something, and then we'll talk about it that way. Oh yeah. All right. That's from
the
Burger
guy.
King. They just
You
started a
can see
new
his
promotion.
stomach.
Yeah, they're releasing a bunch of toys based on Men in Black, the animated series, and that's one of the little coffee drinking aliens.
Thing needs all the promotion it can
His
get.
bellies go
There's
swish.
an Ewok village, the original Ewok village, from the original set of Kenner Star Wars toys. Roger
Who
Rabbit.
framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Most of our
But
younger
please.
audience probably won't remember that movie. It came
I
out
know.
so long ago.
I
but-
know. Worth renting
I
if you
think
get a
he's
chance.
so cute.
Check it out. Okay, here we go. Who wants to talk about?
Oh, let's. I'll start. The hardcover in the background is Batman Black and White, a hardcover collection of a miniseries that came out last year. It features a lot of artists which normally are associated with comic books doing Batman in the black and white as opposed to the full color process. It's a very good book because it takes a look at Batman that you don't see often in the regular series. Highly recommended. It's a bargain at I'm not going to give the price because we can't give out prices, but it is a bargain for the price. Next to that is the first issue of Frank Frazetta Fantasy Magazine, where a lot of different artists take a look at Frazetta's various creations and do stories based upon them. It's a very good book. If you see it in the bookstore, it's worth your time to pick it up. In front of that, we have the variant Jakar figure from Babylon 5. A very nicely detailed figure, much better than the 9-inch figures, which look like cloth-based Barbie dolls.
This figure actually does look like Jakar, which most
and if the camera could get in close enough, which it probably can't, but if it could, you'd see that the eyes are colored differently to represent Jakar's artificial eye in the series. It's a very nice figure. And I'll let someone else take over at this point.
Okay, if you want to pan over that little dinosaur dude, that's from McDonald's. They're promoting the new wildlife park, Animal Kingdom. And next to that spider-like figure, that's from Kenner. That's a Star Wars figure. That's called Bomar Monk. And that was a figure that you could only order through the internet. If you got on their website, Hasbro's website, you could download an order form and mail in your money and get that particular figure. That was seen in Return of the Jedi for like 2 seconds during that movie. Then we've also got a stuffed Chewbacca. They're making Beanie Babies out of Star Wars characters. And then we've got...
like there aren't enough
Beanie Babies. Thank you very much. And then we have Godzilla once again. Yay! Yay, Godzilla. That's going to be an awesome movie. That's going to be the big money maker. What else do we have? Oh, the Godzilla mug. English. Godzilla cup. Taco Bell is doing a promotion, as you know by the commercials. So that's just the cup from the series. Then the
our returning champion, the robot from the original Lost in Space series.
Original Lost in Space. The 2 Star Wars figures that just disappeared.
Yes. The Blop from the movie Lost in Space. You knew it was being marketed as a toy.
Squeeze him, squeeze him.
There he goes. He does his own
there
stunts.
He goes. All right, there's a Star Wars figure. The red guy down there, that's Luke. That was a series of figures that they had from Shadows of the Empire. They released a series of Star Wars figures based on that book. There's Chewbacca on the right, dressed as a bounty hunter, Snuva.
Looking very punk.
Yep, and then the red guy is Luke, actually under a helmet. The helmet comes off, and that's Luke Skywalker, dressed as an Imperial Guard.
Like they don't have enough Luke figures out there.
Somebody else take
We got the Godzilla set from one of the local stores. I guess Sam's Club has it. So you've got all the different ones. It's not letterbox. It's not dubbed. Oh no, it is dubbed. So it's just
it's not subtitles is what you mean.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And next to that we have the CD that features all the music from the Xena musical episode, The Bittersweet. This is the entire story is on that CD, and if you don't have the video around, it's worth it. Just put this in the CD player and listen to it. And I found out that everyone did their own singing in that. Lucy Lawless, Kevin Smith as Ares, and Ted Raimi as Joxer, but apparently the actresses who played Callisto, Hudson Leak, and Renee O'Connor, who does Gabrielle, did not do their own singing. They're the only 2 who didn't.
So Lucy Lawless is supposed to have a wonderful voice.
She does, apparently, from listening to this. And she also has some vocal tracks on the first 2 Xena CDs, which feature other music from the series.
Yeah, good. Are we ready to wrap up? I guess we are.
I guess we are. There's a logo there.
If you want to contact us, you can email us at sci-fi-journal@CompuServe.com. There's the address. Or you can write to us at Rhode Island Science Fiction Club, Post Office Box 9517, Warwick, Rhode Island. The zip is 02889. Please write to us if you're interested in becoming a member of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. We'll be glad to have you, give you more information about upcoming meetings. That's it for this month.
We had a lot more to talk about, well, we didn't get to it.
Which is good, so we'll talk about it next month. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the Funny Papers.
Bye.
Bye.